Joining me now, NewsNation legal contributor Jesse Weber. Jesse, great to have you this morning.
Good to see you. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, let's talk about this defense strategy, which was not calling any witnesses to the stand, and Sean Combs, of course, refusing to testify in his own case. Do you think the defense owes the jury an explanation as to why they pursued that strategy?
They don't have to. It's not their burden. It's the prosecution's burden. And I think they sometimes not saying it would be more powerful, but they can say, look, why didn't we call any witnesses? We didn't have to. Look at all of the witnesses that the prosecution called. A woman who claims that she was sexually assaulted by Sean Combs when she was working for him, yet constantly stayed in contact with him, wrote praising messages to him, both in text messages and social media. A woman who claims that she was dangled off of a 17-story balcony by him. We dismantled her testimony and cross-examination and used actual records and travel records to say it didn't happen when she claimed. Look at the alleged victims in this case that make up the sex trafficking counts, Cassie Ventura Fine and Jane. We have text messages that would show they are willing participants in everything that happened, that they tried to set everything up, that they were expressing their love for Sean Combs, that how on earth is he supposed to know now that they were reluctant into engaging in any of this material, in any of this behavior? So they definitely, I think they really focus on the cross-examination of the witnesses. They focus on the text messages that make this case quite gray. It's not so black and white. And obviously, they didn't need to put Sean Combs on the stand. There would have been a lot more risk doing that than a benefit.
Yeah, it's hard to put yourself into the perspective of a potential jury member, but I'm wondering, with you explaining just how much gray area this is, what you think is going to stand out in their minds, or how difficult it might be for them to make a decision.
Well, here's the thing. Transportation to engage in prostitution, those two charges, I think there's a 95% chance he gets convicted of it. It is such a straightforward charge, especially when you look at text message evidence, voice notes, travel records, Amex records. I mean, Sean Combs, they would make the argument, was central in actually paying for and arranging men and these alleged victims to be transported across state lines for the purposes of sex work. I think the defense is not going to have much there. There is a lot of room when it comes to racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. What I anticipate they're going to do and give the jury potential pause is to take it piece by piece. Racketeering, conspiracy, there was no criminal enterprise, right? They'll say that all of these assistants, all of these bodyguards, they didn't really know what was going on behind closed doors. There was no criminal agreement going into each one of the underlying predicate crimes. Forced labor, these were able-bodied U.S. citizens who could have stepped away if they wanted. Bribery, tampering with a witness, what threats were actually made to keep somebody from testifying or providing information to investigators? Did Sean Combs even know there was an active investigation? Was he trying to cover up things, not to cover up a crime, but protect his image? That's called reasonable doubt. That's what they need to do, raise reasonable doubt. And I've said it before, I say it again, I can see them prosecute, I can see them convicting him, but also this is not an easy case to decide. And I think that the jury is going to wrestle with it and might take some time for deliberations.
Well, Jesse, we only got about 30 seconds left, but I'm curious whether or not you think the 4th of July holiday plays out at all into this decision and potential verdict being reached. Do people want to try to rush through it so that way they can enjoy their Independence Day?
This has been a 7-week trial. They want to get out of there. Don't let anybody tell you that a holiday weekend is not going to have effect on deliberations. It shouldn't, but you have to wonder if they want to wrap it up beforehand.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.